You've got the Martin Modern Deluxe, and you've got the Martin Alamo Deluxe, the Deluxier Deluxe. And we're going to tell you what sets them apart and put them head to head today. So stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name's Chris McKee.
How's it going, guys? This is Cooper Greenberg.
We are here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. If you want to support the channel, visit our spring store link below for custom swag and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. So we have the Deluxe and the Deluxier Deluxe, the Deluxe Supreme. It's the Deluxe Royale. What would you call it if you were in Europe?
The Super Deluxe.
The Super Deluxe.
Actually, yeah, Deluxe Royale with cheese.
So if you are a fan of the channel, you've already seen us do a review of this. This is basically a guitar that Cooper got to pick out the woods for. It's a 0028 Alamo Deluxe with some really cool, make your sound effect. Yeah, exactly. That kind of East Indian rosewood on it. And some other cool features that we're going to go about, but we wanted to pit it against the other great Deluxe that Martin has in their lineup, the Modern Deluxe.
Modern Deluxe. And yeah, everybody loves this guitar. They are quite popular, and we liked them, so that's why we kind of kicked them up a notch with this one. But, you know, we've done kind of Modern Deluxe versus Standard, so you can kind of get the difference there. There's a much wider separation between Standard Series and Modern Deluxe guitars, and this one, these are much closer. So it's kind of a cool experiment with some tone woods, see what the difference is, and then just a couple aesthetic things that we switched up on these guitars. But love them.
Love them. Love them both. But, you know, sometimes you have your favorite children. And this is our favorite child.
Lucas.
Yeah. So let's talk about kind of what sets these apart and what's the same. You went to the factory, you picked out these woods for this series, and this was kind of the blueprint to initially follow and then to deviate from.
Yeah, so we started with the package of a Modern Deluxe, not just a 0028, but the Modern Deluxe version, which kind of has this whole package of VTS top, VTS bracing, protein glue on the bracing, and then wood binding, slightly different neck shape with the vintage Deluxe neck. I don't think a ton. I mean, I've talked a lot about that recently with people in the store, feeling a major difference between the modified low oval and this. I don't feel a huge difference. But
it's a very subtle difference. Yeah, I think the big difference with these in the modified vintage is that it's what's becoming common actually when you go to an upgraded acoustic guitar neck or even electric. It's kind of asymmetrical, and it moves a little bit depending upon where your hand would be on the neck. So it's subtle.
Yeah. And then, did I say the wood binding?
You did say
we got wood binding on here.
Gold We've got wood binding, y'all.
Gold frets, gold Waverleys, a little abalone action on the headstock logo. And yeah, it's just kind of a premium, more premium version with some upgrades on the inside and the outside.
It's vintage and modern at the same time. You know, it replaced the Modern series, which a lot of people forget. But for a while, you had your Standard series, and then you had a vintage series. And the great guitars were in that, like the 0028 VS, for instance. But it was a decidedly vintage series of guitars. Yeah. Now that would be in the authentic series at a higher price point, even more authentic to history. And these Modern Deluxes where we're going to take some of the things that we're doing on the vintage guitars, and then we're going to bring some modern building techniques into it and do this Modern Deluxe version of it, which is pretty cool.
It is cool. So over there, also VTS top. This is Sitka.
This is Adirondack.
Adirondack. And the bracing, also VTS Adirondack. So you got Sitka and Sitka, Addy and Addy.
Marsha.
Same adhesive. Nothing changes there. Protein.
Got to get your protein in.
It's like an egg in a weird shape from a nightmare that
they used to stick things to wood with.
Also, I like that one because the top is very interesting. It's got a little bear claw in there. Mm-hmm. And how often do you see bear claw on Addy?
Not as often as I see a bear in the woods.
That's like once a month, dude.
The San Antonio Bears.
San Antonio Bears.
Yep.
Also, this is long, diamonds and squares. You got Foden.
A little Foden.
Yeah, we didn't phone it in with the Foden. Our current favorite headstock logo, CFM block golden era
Golden
in
era.
abalone.
A little thinner, a little finer, a little older,
A little
a
older.
little better.
Yeah.
That's how we think
And
about
of
it.
course the wild grain, you know. What a set that one is.
Because if you're gonna go big or go home.
Go
you know?
wild. Yeah.
Go wild. Get some really cool looking grain on that East Indian rosewood.
Now, I don't believe that the wild grain versus straight grain should have any tonal difference.
I'm gonna weigh in on this. Okay. And because I've heard different things.
Yeah.
So I've heard some people say what you want is the straightest grain possible, and that's how it's going to respond, and that's what you want. And I've also heard people say that, there's a difference in, because of the grain variation, it's going to respond differently. I think it's going to respond differently. I think it's going to respond potentially better, only because, not with Martin, we were at Taylor, we were looking at some crazy koa, and there was some like master grade koa that was kind of nuts. And I asked Andy, a guitar builder, how would you think this is going to respond? Should you want straight grain? Is it okay if it does this? And he said, yeah, it's great. It's going to do something different. And in this particular case, and it was kind of reminiscent to what this is doing, it's going to move in a kind of a different sense.
Yeah.
You're going to get a looser tone in a way.
This is a beautiful set of just regular East Indian.
That's off
library.
gassing.
Yeah.
Nitro.
This came out of the box this morning. Yeah, very cool. I do think that obviously the Adirondack with VTS and the Addy bracing will have a different tone than
Kick it up a notch.
Kick it up a
Kind
notch.
of Emerald Lagasse bam on
You
this
got
guitar.
Bam, yeah. So let's take a listen.
Well, there you go. We switched guitars. Can you tell? They're both roasty on the top. They're both beautiful herringbone bound
Yeah, a little perf.
triple O 28s, but kicked up a notch to deluxe and deluxeier.
Oh yeah.
They're fantastic guitars. So what do you think about the tonal comparison between these? Obviously, the biggest change is going to be the fact that we changed the wood species and that they both have the VTS treatment, protein glues, and so forth.
I mean, the good thing about the Modern Deluxe guitars all being VTS, they all have an inherent warmth to them, regardless of the model or the back and sides wood. I think that putting a 0028 standard up against this one, there's a much bigger sound difference. And it's interesting when people come in the store, they try them both, they lean heavily in one direction or the other. There's not a, I mean, they both sound great, but somebody really likes the just straightforward kind of classic Martin tone versus something that's a little bit more refined or warm on this one. But I think the Addy push adds a little something to this, and there was like a very pronounced, you know, obviously they both got the Rosewood kind of vibe. I felt like a little bit more mid came off of this one, you know? So it kind of just pushed, since the mid's what's going to help you cut through. It did feel like it was just a little bit heavier there, which I really liked.
Yeah, I think typically with Adirondack, it's one of those things where it's pushing more of what's there.
Yeah.
You tend to get a lot more volume and a lot more brightness, but when it's VTS treated, that's going to tone down some of the initial tightness, and so there's the resonance there that sometimes on new Adirondack topped guitars you wouldn't get.
Yeah.
And so there's tons of volume, tons of articulation, lots of headroom. What that also means, though, in a soft species like Adirondack, you know, spruce compared to, say, like something like mahogany, is that you have all of that dynamic range, so you can really be nuanced with the guitar, and then where you can go is just at a higher, you know, level and peak. But yeah, there's kind of a thickerness with the deluxeier deluxe.
Deluxeier.
Just destroying his English major skills.
I don't use my English very well.
Because you help host a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah,
Out the window.
You have to do it out the window. Yeah, I think I really liked playing both of them, and I think that guitar, it's already a massive upgrade in a lot of different ways, so you cannot go wrong. But if you wanted to just take it one step further, I'm glad we got these, and we have them in dreadnoughts as well, which if we had a D28 Modern Deluxe right now, we would have done that too, but we don't.
The other thing to consider with the Alamo Deluxe is it's extremely limited in comparison. That's something that was factory selected woods for. How many did we initially do?
We did 5 triple O's, 5 dreads, and I think we've sold 3 of the triple O's. And so if you like this one, say I want the one from the video, or you can see the other one that we got.
These have special labels inside of them as well, because they're factory select wood guitars with our logo. So it's pretty cool. I always think that's just a special thing. And not just for us. I think historically there have been companies that have done these with manufacturers. I mean, Ditson Guitars and Martin has a proud history going back to the beginning of Martin Guitars, and so that relationship is important and often results in amazing guitars like this. So we're fortunate to be on this side of it, and maybe you can be on the other side of it and have it for yourself. So,
and do not worry, don't fret. If you go for the Alamo Deluxe, it does come with liquid metal bridge pins.
Well, that's a relief.
Yeah.
So my PlayStation 5 will be happy to know that it also,
you got the liquid
guitar
metal.
also has liquid metal.
Yeah. No Kovars though on this one.
Aw.
No Kovars.
Poor Lux.
Oh, Lux.
He's out of luck.
Yeah, he's out of luck. Yeah. That's my Lux dog.
So if you want information about these guitars along with all of the specs that we covered or didn't cover, you can find that information on our website, which is
alamomusic.com.
You can buy those online, but like Cooper said, if you're interested to see particular photos, select woods on like the deluxe models that have the East Indian or the wild grain rosewood, make sure that you just reach out to us through the website. You can chat with us directly online, and we can help you find the perfect guitar to suit your needs. So let us know in the comments which one you would prefer out of these and what you liked hearing in the demonstration. It's always nice to see how much is being translated through YouTube, through our attempt to, as accurately as possible, capture these guitars so that you can hear them for yourself. So let us know what you think. And if you're new to the channel,
you're going to want to subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on, like the videos, share the videos, comment on the videos. It all helps us be able to create more, reach more people.
And I haven't said it in a while, so just remember, at the end of the day, the best guitar in the world is the one that you're playing.
It's back.
We'll see you next time.